First of all, I want to thank all of you for being here this evening. It's kind of nice to be able to split up and have a baseball softball banquet. We used to do the whole spring together, and it made for a pretty long night. So it's nice to be able to spend a little more time on each kid, each sport, by splitting up and doing baseball and softball together. We're going to eat before we do much of anything here this evening, and I know a lot of you guys are probably hungry and ready to go. So before I announce what tables get to go first, second, and so forth, we're going to invite Mallory Wolf to come up and do our prayer this evening. So Mallory, come on up.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for the opportunity to be here with us tonight with our fellow athletes, our coaches, and our families. We would like to give thanks to you for watching over us during another successful spring sports season. This time has allowed us to grow as individuals in an effort to be better teammates. As we begin our banquet, we would like to bless the food and those who prepared it. And we pray for the presenters, attendees, and volunteers that made this banquet possible. In your name we pray, amen.
Good job, Mallory. Okay, so the coaches will lead first. They'll head up here in just a second. After that, girls are loud. All right. So table 1 will eat first. Table 4 will eat second. This was randomly selected, I promise. And table 2 will go third. Sorry, table 3, I'm sorry. I know, my wife said sitting at table 3, so swear it's random. All right. Coach is going up. Go ahead and get started. All right. Before we do anything else, I want to take just a minute to thank the 2 St. Genevieve cooks that came up here tonight. We got our brats and our pork steaks from Overly's and the cookies from Country Mart, but cucumber salad, macaroni and potato salad, that was all prepared by Sandy Skaggs and Jordan Mueller, 2 of our cooks here, so a nice round of applause for them. I also want to take just a minute to thank our 4 booster officers. These 4 individuals do quite a bit for our student athletes, and they do it on a volunteer basis. They don't get paid a single dime. The only thing that they actually get is free membership, booster membership. That's it. So these, like I said, these 4 individuals, they spend a lot of time at booster meetings. They prepare concession stands throughout the course of the school year. They help put together the banquets, pick scholarship winners. They do all kinds of stuff. The list goes on and on. So Christy Fleeman, Rob Coleman, Andrea Fritsch, and Deanne Squires. Nice round of applause for them. All right, now it's time for an introduction of our coaches. We'll start over here at the ugly side of the table with our baseball coaches. Is that right? All right. To our far left here we have our head baseball coach, and that is Mike McDaniel. All right, to his right is assistant baseball coach Brock Kreidler. Croc? I don't even want to ask. My name is Brock, everybody call me Rockstar. To his right in the hat is Kellen Bosler. All right, over to the right side of the table, this is our softball staff, and to my immediate right here is our head softball coach, Becky Cotton. To her right is one of her trusty assistants, and that is Aaron Snoopy. And last but not least, to his right is another one of our assistants, and that is Michaela Bader. These coaches spend a lot of time, as you guys know, away from their own families to coach their kids, and I can't say enough about these 6 individuals up here. They're tremendous people, tremendous coaches, and we're very fortunate to have them. We're going to start with baseball here in just 1 second. I believe Coach Kryler is going to start. Is that correct? And then followed by Coach McDaniel. Gentlemen, no talking tonight? All right. Yeah, so Coach Kryler, come on up.
Hi everyone, I'm Brock Kryler with the JV baseball program. I have a couple of shout outs and thank yous for the following individuals. Thank you to the JV baseball parents. Thank you for supporting the program, supporting these players, and following us along. Y'all are so important to the success of these athletes. I and this team greatly appreciate you and thank you for all you do. Thank you to Dr. Nix for another successful spring season, for all the hard work that goes into getting things together, to making these things happen, and for teaching our managers a thing or two about game changing. Thank you to our wonderful baseball managers, Tessa, Aylin, Tylen, and Dusty. And thank you to Coach McGee and Coach Boz. These gentlemen are great role models and coaches to have around for our program, who work hard for these guys day in and day out. And finally, thank you to you guys, the players. I admire all the hard work y'all have put in, the effort and attitude of the season. Now, I'm going to call up the JV baseball players. I'll have them come up to the front. I'm going to speak on those who primarily played JV and let Coach McDaniel talk about those who primarily played varsity. Also, I'd like to have some fun and call up a few of these guys by their nicknames. So I'm going to start with Boz, Isaiah Bosley. Isaiah played some great baseball for us this year. He's really come into his own as a presence behind the plate. He's got a great arm that gives us more than a chance at throwing out base runners. I love how he's not afraid to backpick runners on the bases. Isaiah can also handle the bat well. He's an important part of our lineup as he gets on and is able to swipe bases with his speed. He really does have the tools to become a great ball player, and I'm excited to see how he continues to develop and what he can do on the field. Nice job, Boz. Sawyer Bowman. Sawyer was another big part of our JV squad this year. He saw time on the mound, behind the plate, and in the outfield. He was a guy that could do it all for us. Throughout the season, he had timely hits, big RBIs for us at the plate. He ended up throwing a runner or two out at the plate, and Sawyer's going to help this program a lot moving forward. He's a great teammate to his peers. I'm excited to see what he can do in the future. Eli Bennett. Eli did an excellent job for us this year. He was our go-to guy on the mound and threw extremely well. He was a guy that Coach Bosler and I could always count on to battle and to compete. Actually, what was supposed to be our last game of the JV season at Cape Central, Eli threw 7 innings for a perfect game. He paid me to say that, however, because the game never happened. Regardless, he pitched the next game versus Valley, what was actually our last game of the season, and threw really, really well. He was a staple in the middle of our lineup, and he's a great kid to have around. Eli Bennett. JV, Johnny Bird. Johnny's game has improved greatly since his freshman year. At the JV level, he put things together at the plate and had some clutch hits for us. Turns out JV is a scooping machine at first base. We discovered that's his superpower this year. His ability to scoop at baseball would be a 99 rating on a PlayStation game. But yeah, he's that good. I hope JV continues to improve his game and become a player that the program can count on in the future. Johnny Bird. Jeremiah Bird. So I'll start by mentioning that Jeremiah has the record for most names added to his existing name already. The first day of practice, I come to know him as Jeremiah, which quickly became Jerry, which quickly became much more. Jerry Larry may be the smallest guy on our team, but he played big. Jerry Larry Gary moved all around our lineup, but no matter what spot he was hitting in, he seemed to get hit or on base any way possible. Jerry Larry Gary Harry was another pitcher Coach Balls and I could count on to pound the zone and to compete. Jerry Larry Gary Harry Barry was a fun personality to have around, and I hope he continues to grow physically and in the game of baseball. Jerry Larry Gary Harry Barry. Cobalt, Coleslaw, Colton Brace. Not here. Odie, Adam Odie. Adam's a big player for us at the JV level. He found himself coming more comfortable at the plate towards the end of the season. I wish he had more games because I'm curious to see how much damage he could have done. Adam has a bigger impact than just the game. He is someone that the coaching staff can count on to have a positive impact on the younger guys and our team overall. I'm excited to keep him seen working hard and what damage he can do in the next year. Adam Oder. Slime, Ethan Ottens. Coach McGee is going to talk more about Ottens, but he is part one of the Three Amigos. Part two of the Three Amigos, Justin Schweige. Brendan Sexton. Justin Slinkard. Slinky. Slink had a lot of positive growth this season for us. He worked on a few things in the cage to get his swing going. This paid off as he had some timely hits and improved his contact ability. Slink was someone who played all around for us. He saw majority time in the outfield, but also third base and second base. He is someone the coaching staff loves having around. He wants to constantly learn the game. I've enjoyed talking Cardinal baseball with him, even if he's wrong about who's good on the team and who's not. Gorman for MVP, by the way. Great job this season, Slink. Brian Bansel. Evan Winters. Evan played a big role in our squad this year. He saw some mound time. He was our starting third baseman. On our team, he's known to be the guy that cannot stop moving or talking. You can see that in his at-bats at the plate, as his batting stance has a lot of movement, and typically he also has a conversation at the plate with someone. Evan will continue to be a big part of this program moving forward. I hope he takes the time to work on his skills as time goes on. His willingness to do whatever it takes is something that I have come to appreciate. He is a super competitor, and I hope others take part of his game from that. Evan Winters. It always seems to be a big learning curve for the new faces on our team with our set plays, routines, expectations, and schedule. There's so much time to take in and process, and there's so much to take in a short amount of time. These guys did an amazing job and have improved so much from day one. You may have noticed that I mentioned a lot about these guys, how great teammates they are, and the attitude and positive energy they bring to the dugout. They were fantastic in supporting each other and making coming to the ballpark enjoyable. These guys were truly fun to be around. I'm glad a lot of them got to dress out for some baseball games for the varsity level to improve and bring some more energy to the dugout. I know that this group will continue to improve and push to find the greatness that they have. This is your 2023 JV baseball team.
All right, so I'll do a few thank yous first. I'm Michael McDaniel, head baseball coach. First of all, my assistant coaches, Kellen Bosler and Brock Kreitler, these guys do an absolutely amazing job with our players. Decisions are often like these long threads of emails during the day, most of the time spanning 20 or 30 or something like that. And that can only be about maybe even just like one decision. So I value like their input and a different perspective whenever we consider all options for games, practice, whatever that might be. These two take on a bit of a different role than what I do. The guys on and off the field, I'm thankful for their presence, and then also the guidance that they've given these guys. Unfortunately, all good things must come to an end though, as these two guys, unfortunately, will not be in the dugout with us next year. Compared to most other sports, baseball, and Coach Kime knows softball is a grind. There are a lot of late nights, the weather outside can be miserable, games can be scheduled and rescheduled at the drop of a hat. There are several games during the course of the week, and there's just no set routine. Flexibility is the name of the game. It's just a mental and a physical grind that can take a toll in so many different areas. As I said last year, I thank Coach Balder's wife, Kimber, for sharing him with us, and I'm thanking her again for the patience that she's shown for allowing him to be a part of this coaching staff for as long as he has. Renovating a house, having 2 young kids, and starting a new business is a lot on a young family. Kellen's a great guy. He's extremely knowledgeable about baseball. He's given a lot to this program, and he's going to be missed quite a bit next year. Last year, I also pointed out that Coach K had all the time in the world because he wasn't married yet. He didn't have any kids, and that was a girlfriend at the time, Madeline. She'd soon find out enough that what it would be like to be a coach's wife, or as somebody put it to me one time before, a coach's widow. Yeah, you guys that have been a part of that, you know. A nearly an hour commute, one way each day, coupled with the schedule of baseball and trying to start a new family, can be hard to devote the necessary time needed. And like Kellen, Brock is a great guy. There's a lot to offer and has given so much to this program, not just as a coach, but as a player as well. And I'll most assuredly miss his perspective and Kellen's next year and everything they bring to the table. So I appreciate you guys and everything that you have done for me. Thank you. I appreciate Dr. Nix right here with all his hard work, constant communication. It's hard during the springtime, but that turf makes it a lot easier for him. And I appreciate all the help that he's given our managers in learning how to be game changer as well. All the media outlets for their coverage, the Herald, all the guys at KFMO and KTJJ, all of you, the parents, and also the players for raising these guys. And basically, they'll be introducing shortly. Thank you for all of your hard work, late nights that you guys have spent with them, whether it's a uniform, consoling, cheering, celebrating, whatever it might be. We really appreciate everything that you have given this program and your son as well. My parents, Terry and Regina McDaniel, who are back there, they're supposed to be retired, but if you've ever been up to the ballpark, you would swear that the amount of time they put in the concession stand is a full-time job, and everything that they commit to being able to help out our program as well. All your hard work is greatly appreciated. And I'd definitely be remiss if I didn't thank my amazing wife for giving me the opportunity to spend so much time away from her and my beautiful daughter Mason during the season. Baby number 2, McDee number 2, will be here in less than a month. And we couldn't be more excited. Mason is super excited to be a big sister. She tells everybody. And apparently she has a baby in her belly too, she tells everybody. So we're going to see how all that goes with her being a big sister. But Rachel does a wonderful job of picking up the slack during the spring. And without her love and support, the opportunity I have to be out in the field, a place that I absolutely love to be, wouldn't be possible. Now, into our season here. Heading into this season, we knew that there would be work to do. But when you sat and put pencil to paper and things in perspective, you understood the tall task that was facing us. This season wasn't going to be a typical season for the Diamond Dragons, unfortunately. In my 18 years at the helm, we've had 4 years of sub-500 baseball. 2 of those previous 4 involved seasons similar to this, where we did not have a single senior on the team and went 9-16 in those respective seasons. The key to this year is going to be relying a lot on unproven players at the varsity level to carry us through our schedule. When putting pencil to paper, I realized the following from last season. We had 6 seniors and 7 total players that we lost this year, 5 of the 7 being substantial contributors. Of those 5 players, we lost over 50% of our offense, whether that be at bats, runs scored, hits, or RBIs, and nearly 60% of our stolen base numbers. Now, if that wasn't a high hurdle to jump over, we lost 82% of the innings pitched on the mound, 92% of the games started by our pitchers, and 86% of our wins. So when you looked at this year, you didn't look at it from the angle of a washed-up season where you didn't expect anything to happen. Myself, along with Coach Boz and Coach K, don't think like that. We never have and never will. Instead, we need to think about this season in terms of progress. All these guys are coming back next year, and we need to hold our standards high like we always have, but figure out how to bring up these young guys into the mix and develop them and progress them to put us in a good position for next season. We finished the year with a record of 7-17, and out of those 17 lessons learned, 4 were by 1 run and 2 were by 2 runs, which we could look back and pinpoint specific things that could have turned those games around for us. Most of this year was spent trying to figure out how to play a complete 7 innings where we were consistent in 3 phases of the game: hitting, fielding, and pitching. Correcting some of those mistakes would have put us around the 500 mark, which would have been a super success this year. But it also gave us incentive to improve and get better for next season. From beginning to end, there were definitely some bright spots to build upon and get excited about, which in my opinion, other coaches in the conference in the area noticed as well. Heading into our conference and district tournament, I fully expected us to get seated lower than what we did, but I think that other coaches, the respect that they have for the program, and then also seeing the potential that these guys held, knew that they were a force that could be, hard to reckon with, and ended up giving us much better seeds than maybe what other people thought we might have deserved. We lost a heartbreaker in the first round of the MAAA conference tournament, won our next 2 games to win the consolation bracket of the tournament, and finished ahead of where we were initially seated. And we faced off against a Potosi team in the district semifinal round. That was a red-hot team and ended up being the #1 seeded team in that district, and will be playing tomorrow against Kennett. There are a lot of fighting these guys throughout the season, but unfortunately, if we're being honest, we shot ourselves in the foot with too many mistakes along the way. So when we look at the broader picture, and once again put pencil to paper, for next season, we have 100% of our offense coming back and 100% of our pitching coming back. And all of them have substantial varsity experience. So at this time, I'll introduce the players and managers for this year's team. First, our managers, Tylen Hager, Tessa Hager, and Aylin Yoakum. I don't think that the ladies can make it tonight. But baseball and softball are not an easy sport to keep a scorebook for, but the ladies did a fantastic job and an even better job of keeping our next manager in line, Dustin. Actually, when you guys hear the phrase, "it takes a village to raise a child," you think of Dustin, because it takes a team to keep up with him and keep him in line. Dustin is our lone senior, and you want to talk about a heck of a senior night. This guy had the works. Not only did he get honored before the game, but he threw out a ceremonial first pitch. Now, if you've watched people do ceremonial first pitches, a lot of times they don't go all the way out to the mound because they're afraid of maybe messing it up, especially if you guys are familiar with 50 Cent and you've ever seen his. It was pretty awful, but not Dustin. He reminded me of one of the great lines from the movie A Few Good Men, when Jack Nicholson's character was up on the stand and said, "You don't want the truth, because deep down in places you don't talk about at parties, you want me on that wall. You need me on that wall." Well, Dustin must have watched that movie a few hundred times, because I'm pretty sure that scene played out a little differently in his head and sounded more like this. "You don't want the truth, because deep down in places you don't talk about at coaches' meetings, you want me on that mound. You need me on that mound." So Dustin grabs the ball, walks to the pitcher's mound, ball in hand. He toes up on the rubber like he's getting ready to pitch Game 7 of the World Series for the Cardinals. Went into his motion, fired the most beautiful strike that you have ever seen. Now, according to Dustin, if you asked him how hard he threw that, he'd say, about 73, 74 is what he said, miles per hour. You thought that the night would have been solidified right there. This guy had a full-fledged interview on the radio. Where, mind you, he did a pretty bang-up job talking about his favorite concession stand food, which were nachos. Yep. No jalapenos or pulled pork. All right. His plans to attend Chiefs game, his future work plans, and the state of St. Pius's pitcher's velocity off the mound compared to his own. Which, when the radio guy said, "So, Dustin, how hard do you think that he's thrown?" Probably about 71, 72. So, Dustin actually that night too played a little bit of outfield and was actually named the co-player of the game to round out his night. If you're going to go out with a bang, and that matched Dustin's philosophy every single night at the ballpark, and that was to go all out all the time. We're going to miss him next year, Mr. Dustin Apt, everyone. Players, we start with our freshmen. I'm going to introduce both of these guys at the same time here. They are provisional letters, meaning guys, you keep working hard, you come out, you get on that varsity field again next year, you guys get yourself a letter for this year and for next year as well. Those two are Sawyer Bowman and Eli Bennett. Now, these two here weren't necessarily, brought up to the varsity level right away. But with low numbers this year, and especially with pitch counts and a lot of other factors that kind of go into it, you look to guys that you can count on in certain situations. And you factor in a lot of different things like attitude, work ethic, versatility, those sorts of things. And, these guys were the guys that we looked to, and all three of the coaches like, those are the dudes right there that we need to have up here and give them a little bit of a taste. Eli did mostly a lot of courtesy running, pinch running for us. And Sawyer got the ability to go out on the mound. We had a long stretch of games during the course of the week. And we're like, Sawyer, we don't care how far they hit it. If you strike them out, fantastic. If they hit over the fence, that's fine too. We just need you to go out there and throw strikes. And that's what he did for us. So these two guys right here, Sawyer Bowman, Eli Bennett, a couple freshmen that we're going to look forward to seeing more from them next year. Coach Kreitler kind of already said what these guys' nicknames are. We're going to start with the three amigos, as he calls them, our three freshmen who are consistently in the lineup for us most of this year. First freshman, Luke Ferranto. Luke was a major contributor this season and helped guide us through stretches where we needed consistency on the mound and in the field. His bat played well as he tied for the highest average on the team at 377. He led us in on-base percentage, reaching base at an over 531 rate, and had a team-high 16 walks. The power numbers weren't necessarily there, but that's to be expected as a freshman hitting on the varsity level. Luke even made the comment after hitting a double late in the year that he finally had an extra base hit. No matter what, though, you love seeing Luke, or Toes, or Fish, or Gilbert, or whatever his name was that he went by this year. All right? He loves seeing at the plate because you knew he was going to give you a quality at bat. And even though he's probably more of a third baseman, he gave us the consistency we needed, and his arm strength really helped him play a solid shortstop for us most of the year. With some added strength and tuning into his lower half, I think it can help him hit the ball further, and even velocity off the mound and everything. Luke is a fun kid to watch, and I can't wait to have him around for the next few years. Luke Ferranto. Our next freshman, second of the three amigos, Ethan Ottens. Ethan was a pleasant surprise this year. I knew he was fast, and I saw he went about his business during basketball and seeing him play a few times in River Dogs during the summer, and his philosophy is just play all out. Go all out. More than his speed, the thing I loved most about Ethan is that he's coachable. As coaches, we make a suggestion or show him something, he worked on it. He's a true competitor. He takes things to heart, and he'll do whatever he needs to do to help the team. Ethan led us in sacrifice bunts this year, and there's no one else we trust more to lay one down than Ethan. He may not talk a lot on the field, and I wish he did, but he has good instincts for the game. And with even more work this offseason, I know he'll make a huge push to be a major contributor next season. Ethan Ottens. And our last of the three amigos, Justin Schweigert. Justin said something about maybe shaving his hair this summer, so if that happens, we need pictures of that. Justin made huge strides for us this season. He went from a guy hitting toward the bottom of the order to someone we needed to move up toward the heart because of his ability to put the ball in play and to get on base. Justin was one walk away from tying the team lead and was also second in on-base percentage, reaching base just over 50% of the time. While it was fun to watch Justin progress as a hitter throughout the year, it was even better watching him play defense. Anytime the ball went in his vicinity, you just knew he was going to come up with. And the highlight of the year, Brian did not take anything from you, buddy. You had two awesome catches. The highlight of the year was Justin's absolute amazing diving play to his left against Valley, of all places and all teams and everything. He gets up looking like, Nolan Arenado and just makes a solid throw to first base for the out. I know there'll be even more work this offseason. His bat will play even better at the varsity level, and there'll be more diving catches for him in the future that he'll just simply make look routine. Justin Schweiger. And just as a side note, out of all of our players on our team this year with at least 38 varsity at-bats, these three freshmen struck out the fewest times of anyone on the team respectively. First, second, and third lowest is what it was. I'm looking forward to them putting in some hard work this off-season and having some of their fellow freshmen who are on the JV level this year compete for major roles in the varsity level next year. Competition and pushing each other in a positive manner is a great motivator. Next, our sophomores, Isaiah Bosler. Isaiah did a great job filling in this year behind the plate and in the lineup for a period of time. He's quick, he's athletic, and he's shown a lot of growth from last year. He plays the game with a lot of passion and energy that we as coaches absolutely love about him. His wrestling mentality has transitioned well into baseball, something that he needs to put on the, as I call them, tools of ignorance. That's the catcher's gear for those of you guys who don't know. His ability to block the ball has grown leaps and bounds from where it was when he started as a freshman. Now I'm hoping that this off season, I'll see a little bit more of him so he can get that arm in shape just a little bit sooner, because man, his arm angle where he throws that from is a tough one to face as a hitter. He's got a great run with his two-seamer, and his off-speed pitch is fantastic whenever he can locate that thing for a strike. So just as he's made a lot of progress blocking the ball, I'm looking forward to that off-season work to get his offensive capabilities there just as much. I know it's in there, and I root for a kid like him that's going to go out and lay his body and heart on the line. Isaiah Bosler. Next, John Bird, JV. So Johnny has like a ton of athleticism, and it's just waiting to come out. Even just like cracking a smile from time to time. Like, we're just waiting for it to come out, all right? And he catches us by surprise with some things sometimes. Like, we had that picture day, and all of a sudden we're taking pictures, and out of nowhere, there's some dude doing a backflip. And it's Johnny. And you're like, what the heck? And he doesn't get any emotion whatsoever about it. I'd be like high-fiving people like crazy, saying, dude, you just see what I did and everything? But not Johnny. He doesn't even crack a smile about it. He simply just goes about his business. He's a pick champion over there at first base, like Coach Kreitler said, and possesses a lot of tools below the surface that just simply need a little bit of refining, but he has loads of potential. He worked hard this past offseason to get stronger in the weight room. I believe he's successful in doing that. And he continues to get stronger and to play with passion and refine that raw athletic baseball ability that he has. He can definitely be an asset for us next year. Johnny Bird. Our next one, Evan Winters. Well, I wasn't completely sure what I thought when Evan said he was coming back out for baseball this year. But let me tell you that I was pleasantly surprised with what he gave us in attitude and also in gameplay. He didn't necessarily get a lot of time on the varsity level, but he showed enough grit, especially at the plate early in the season, to earn a few at-bats. Now, I would really like to see Evan work on his pitching this offseason, because there's definitely some ability there that I think if he can harness and control, he can really give us something next year. If you know anything about Evan, he needs a position that he's constantly involved in, is what he needs. I sincerely hope that he does work at those things this offseason and comes out next year ready to contribute. And while he sometimes can get a little sidetracked in the dugout, I truly believe that he's a great kid at heart and wants to see other people around him succeed as much as himself. Evan Winters. And lastly, our juniors. Our first junior, Alex Fleeman. Well, Alex started the year a little behind the 8 ball, unfortunately. It was hard for him to get on track for most of the season at the plate. However, toward the end of the year, I feel like his hitting approach and ability at the plate seemed to start to get better with some more consistent reps, and realizing that he really didn't need to do too much to pack a punch whenever he hit the ball. There is a ton of pop in Alex's bat, and just making controlled contact rather than swinging out of his shoes, there's more pop than most people hope to have whenever hitting. He crawled out of the cellar and ended the year 205, but putting 2 balls over the fence during the last couple of weeks, one of those being an absolute bomb that I think he only swung about halfway on. This next offseason, I'd really like to see Alex a little more involved with his teammates in workouts and get himself ready to go, because really getting down to the nitty-gritty and grinding out will only pay dividends for him to have an absolute breakout season next year. It's in there. I know it is. We've seen hints of it. All right, I'm ready for it. Alex Lehman. Our next one, Wyatt Kemper. So Wyatt did a great job working in the weight room this past winter. Just like Alex, he has a lot of pop in his bat. Early in the year, there were a lot of swings and misses, with him maybe trying to do more than what he needed. However, some of Wyatt's best games came from him keeping things simple and staying within himself. Wyatt finished the year with the 3rd most RBIs, with 13, and the accomplishment he's probably the most proud of was a triple he hit against Fredericktown. I think whenever he got over to 3rd base, he was about as surprised as anyone, but man, I've never seen somebody smile so big as what he did whenever he did that. Like I pointed out at this banquet last year, Wyatt has a lot of positives going for him, like his love for the game and some of the things he's capable of doing on the field, but getting him to relax and not become his own worst enemy is pivotal for his performance. He's a good player, and with continued skill work, time in the weight room, and some maturity, he can be a huge asset for us in the field, at the dish, and on the bump next year. Wyatt Kemper. Our next junior, Aiden Meyer. Aiden has a pretty high ceiling with baseball. He's a really athletic kid with the potential to do a lot of great things. This was his first real year of pitching and figuring out all the nuances that go with it. So while his pitching stats weren't necessarily what he wanted them to be, he showed some signs of promise of things to come if he keeps working hard at it. His offensive production took a giant step from last year, seeing him go from hitting .266 to the 3rd highest average on the team at .346 this year, while leading in OPS, slugging percentage, at-bats, hits, runs, doubles, and home runs, and then tying for 1st in sacrifice flies, 2nd in RBIs, and tied for 2nd in triples. I look forward to Aiden working hard this offseason in the weight room, or continuing to work hard, I should say. His presence on the mound and continually getting better on offense. Aiden is another one who puts a lot of pressure on himself to perform and can sometimes let it get the best of him, but would benefit understanding and improving the mental part of his game can only help the physical attributes that he already possesses. I'm looking forward to even more growth out of Aiden before next season to prepare himself for what could be a monster year. Aiden Meyer. Next, Mason Nix. So Mason is someone that does a lot of things for us, and he does them well. He's constantly working and grinding to be the best that he can be. Even during an injury about halfway through the year, he was trying to convince everyone around him, including himself, that he could play. Even though basically they said, hey, it could be as many as 2 to 3 weeks, but he was telling himself that he can be ready the next day. Not going to happen. All right. On offense, Mason led the team in stolen bases, tied for the team lead in batting average at .377 and RBIs, tied for 2nd in OPS, hits and triples, was 3rd in on-base percentage, and 3rd in slugging percentage. On the mound, he was a workhorse for us, tackling the most innings pitched, facing the most batters, starting the most games, led our pitching staff in WHIP, and he's 2nd team in ERA. Mason has done a lot of work during the last couple of off seasons to get himself to where he is at this stage in his career. His work ethic is something for others to follow, and I expect nothing less than the same from him this off season to help him reach his full potential. Mason Nix. Adam Oder. So, Adam's just an awesome kid. He has a huge heart, a genuine concern for his teammates, and a love for the game of baseball. Although, Adam, I am disappointed that you did not get into a fantasy baseball draft this year, because I love talking baseball with you on that. Adam spent most of his time in the JV, but he still finds ways to contribute. He has such a stoic disposition about him, and hear conversations he has with others or be involved in a conversation with him. I never feel like he can get angry with the guy. Later in the season, Adam actually started wearing a new pair of shoes, and I believe it was a new glove too, and you would have swore it was Benny the Jet Rodriguez from Sandlot, putting on his PF Flyers and just made him a different ball player. It just sounded like the ball came off the bat differently. It seemed like he ran faster, everything. It was quite a transition, like I said, to watch. I love everything about Adam and what he stands for as a human being. And we always tell our guys to be decent human beings. That is a decent human being over there. He's an excellent human being. And I can't wait to be blessed with another year on the diamond with him next year. Adam Oder. All right, Brian Schwinn. This is a kid that has to do anything that you ask him to do, as long as he's getting an opportunity to contribute to something for the game and his teammates. I bet if you wagered a $100 bill with him his freshman year that he'd start the second highest amount of games and accumulate the third most innings pitched his junior year of varsity baseball, he'd think you're nuts. But here we are. In his final 13, almost 14 innings pitched this year, he surrendered only 2 runs and won each of the 3 games on his way to leading the staff in victories on the mound. Brian is one heck of a defender. He displayed that twice against Potosi with 2 phenomenal diving catches in the outfield to take away extra bases. And while I'd love for us to sit up here and pine over how spectacular they were, that is not the highlight of his year. I know he would rather talk about his big shining moment down at Jackson. If you don't know anything about Jackson's baseball team, they're pretty dang good. They were sitting there on senior night watching what's going on. They had like 12 seniors, and one after the other, you just keep hearing, this guy's going to play college ball here. This guy's going to play college ball there. Their entire starting lineup, if they put on the field, was going to play college ball next year. It's a pretty phenomenal team. Now, one guy literally stood head and shoulders above all the rest of those kids on Jackson. This guy's name, Caden Bogenbold. We're talking 6'6", 230 pounds, committed to Missouri State, and will probably get drafted in an MLB draft in early July. And here you have Brian on the mound getting ready to face off against him. Absolutely zero fear. No fear. Let's just say that Brian stood a lot taller than 5'7" that day. And what's awesome about it? Struck him out. Those are the moments that someone like Brian lives for and he relishes in and won't let anyone ever forget. They're going to be at their high school reunion 20 years down the road. Like, remember seeing Bogenbold on TV the other day? I struck him out. Oh yeah. I love his competitiveness, I love his passion, his drive, and I can't wait to see what future major leaguer he's ready to take on next. Brian Schwinn. Now we have a couple other guys, like I said, White, Springcamper, and Grant Williams that are not here. But ladies and gentlemen, this is your 2023 St. James Dragons baseball team. It's going to be great feeling seeing all these guys come back on the diamond next year and not have to say goodbye to anybody. A year of growth, both in the mental part of the game and the physical part of the game, will do wonders for these guys. I'm excited to see the progress we make from this year to the next. And guys, if I have a couple messages for you, make the most of your opportunities, because before you know it, in the blink of an eye, those opportunities will dry up, and this will be your last banquet that you will ever attend. I hope you guys continue to work, continue to grind, and continue to care about the guy next to you. Without him, you're left fighting a battle alone. With him, you have a partner, someone you can take in the battle with you that has your back and fights for the same common goal and passion that you have, and that's baseball. Ladies and gentlemen, your baseball team. Just a few quick awards that we have. Sorry, guys, before I should have told you this down. All right. Our first award is the Dirty Uniform Award. This year's award goes to the guy who, once again, puts on those tools of ignorance and subjects himself to taking a hit off the body at any given moment. Bruises galore. Alex Fleeman. So we'll get your award. It's in the mail. But you did win the award. Our next one, the Defensive Player of the Year. This is a tough one because there are a couple of people that were very deserving. However, we felt this person was a lockdown defender at a position that requires a sense of what I think of as fearlessness. That is not an easy place to play, and most people call it the hot corner. This year's recipient is Justin Schweiger. Our next award goes to the Pitcher of the Year. This guy threw the second most innings for us and had the lowest ERA in the team with 2.47. Each time he took the mound, we knew we were getting strikes and consistency the entire time. And oh, by the way, he's a freshman. This year's recipient, Luke Ferranto. Next, we have our Offensive Player of the Year. The recipient of this award was someone who led us in nearly every offensive category and was near the top in several more. This year's Offensive Player of the Year is Aiden Meyer. And lastly, our MVP. The guy who earned this award is someone who is a very balanced player and contributes in so many ways to the team, offensively, defensively, and in the field. On the mound. He's worked extremely hard the last couple of years to get the most out of his body, and it's showing. This year's MVP is Mason Nix. Thank you.
All right. So that was something that kind of stood out to me that Coach McDaniel said, is that we get 100% of our pitching, fielding, and hitting back next year. That's pretty awesome. And just to add on to what Coach McDaniel was talking about with Bryant striking out Caden Bogenpole, I just heard today that in the district semifinal, Bogenpole struck out 16 batters and had 4 home runs in the district tournament. Just the tournament itself, that's 3 games they played. So, Brian struck that guy out. That boy Eagle. All right. Going on to our history-making softball team. We're going to start with Mr. Stoopy, Coach Stoopy. He's going to do a little talking about the JV season, followed by Coach Kine with varsity. So, Coach Stoopy, you're up, buddy.
I first want to thank a couple people here that made this season very possible. I want to thank the girls for their patience throughout the year, from rainouts to short games, things like that. I also want to thank all the parents for your patience and effort to get girls to and from practices. And then also a big thank you to Dr. Nix for his determination to schedule and then also reschedule games as many as possible. Lastly, I want to thank the coaching staff that contributed to the great season, consisted of Coach Kine and Coach Bader. So thank you to all. The girls finished out the season with a record of 6-2. I wish a few of the games could have gone a little farther than what they did in actual full 7 innings. But in the end, the result was the same. However, this is, it was a lot of effort and dedication goes into preparing for games. I appreciate the girls giving all that they did. Some of these girls have prepared themselves for the season by coming to workouts and the open practices as well. It definitely has paid off for them. This year is the first time that some of these girls have played together, and they did a fabulous job. The first year, that can always be a difficult one, just because some have played travel ball teams, where others maybe just new to the sport. You probably have heard this before, there's no I in team. So last, with that being said, all the girls came to practice and to games ready to learn new skills and philosophies. At this time, I'd like to introduce each team member who made this softball season possible. Starting number 2, Autumn Warder. Autumn was one of our swing players who played JV and also varsity. During her time on JV, she had 15 plate appearances with 11 at-bats. Her batting average was a .545, which included 6 hits, 3 RBIs, and 2 runs scored. She tied for the most hit by pitches with 3. On defense, Autumn spent most of the time behind the plate. With that being said, she had 24 putouts, being the lead for JV. With her hard work this offseason, I see her finding more time on the varsity level next year. Number 2, Autumn Warner. Number 5, Riley Murphy. Riley was one of the players that I looked for leadership. She always came to the field with a smile on her face and willing to do whatever it takes to get herself into that lineup. Riley had 11 plate appearances with 10 at-bats. Her batting average was only a .200. However, she was able to capitalize on the base by scoring 5 runs. Her main position was second base. Thank you, Riley, for your positive attitude you brought to the team this year. Number 5, Riley Murphy. Number 6, Mariah Knapp. Mariah was one of the players I look forward to also for leadership, especially there in the outfield, due to the fact that she was the only returning outfielder from last season. Mariah had 12 plate appearances with 8 at-bats. Her batting average was a .500. She was able to have 4 hits, scoring 3 RBIs, and also having 7 runs scored. With her hard work and determination off season, I look forward to seeing you and your growth next season. Number 6, Mariah Knapp. Next up, number 8, Adriana Bennett. Bennett started off the season with JV, but later became a swing player when she showed her speed on the base path. While on JV, she had 19 plate appearances with 18 at-bats. She ended her season with a .389 batting average with 7 hits, including 1 triple. She was able to record 3 RBIs and score 9 runs. While on defense, her main position was shortstop. With her determination to learn the new tricks of base running, I believe that she will be an effective courtesy runner next year for the varsity. Number 8, Adriana Bennett. Number 9, Tyra Cartman. Kyra is a great outfielder who is not afraid to dive and attempt to catch any ball. Kyra had 12 plate appearances with 8 at-bats. She also was batting average at .375. She was able to score 4 runs and get 3 hits. She also was able to make it home 6 different times. Even though she played the majority of the games in the outfield, she did find herself at first base one game. It's very weird that she found herself at first. I asked her, I said, have you played infield? No. I was like, well, you're going to stay there for one game. I see big things for her next year and maybe even some time at the varsity level. Number 9, Kyra Carter. Number 12, Julie Parker. Julie was another one of the swing players who played third base for us. During her time on JV, she had 18 plate appearances with 13 at-bats. Her batting average was .385, including 5 hits and 1 triple. Her best game was against Arcadia Valley, going 4 for 4. She totaled 7 RBIs and led the team with runs scored at 10. With her determination in the off-season, I see a bright future ahead of you. Great job, Julie Parker. Good job. Number 13, Bree Falk. Bree also started off the year playing JV, but became a swing player during the middle of the year. Bree pitched the majority of the innings for us this year. When she was not pitching, she was a utility player. Even though a utility player was rare to come by, Bree stepped up and was really great at what she did. I've not seen her behind the plate, but I'm sure she would give 100% if I put her there. Bree had 18 plate appearances with 13 at-bats. She averaged a .308 with 4 hits, 6 RBIs, and scoring 3 times. With her dedication off-season, focusing on her pitching skills, she'll make a great pitcher in the years to come. Number 13, Bree Falk. Number 14, Caitlin Mall. Kaylin started off the year in the outfield, but later transitioned to playing in the infield. Kaylin had 12 plate appearances with 8 at-bats. Even though she averaged a 250, her on-base percentage was a 500. She finished off the year with 2 hits, scoring 1 RBI, and earning herself 7 runs. Kaylin was also used as a courtesy runner to allow the catcher or pitcher to have a break. Kaylin and I hope to see you in off-season conditioning practices. Number 14, Kaylin Mall. Number 16, Alyssa Beckerman. Alyssa was another one of our swing players who played mainly first base, but also did a couple innings behind the plate. Alyssa had 9 plate appearances with 8 at-bats. She averaged a 625 with 5 hits, including 1 double. Her hard work earned her 3 RBIs and scoring 2 times. I cannot wait to see you in the future, because I know your future is very bright. Keep up the hard work. Number 16, Alyssa Beckerman. Number 20, Lindley Wiener. Lindley also did an amazing job in the outfield this year. When she was not playing in the field, she also found her way into the game by being a courtesy runner and even catching 1 game for us. Lindley had 12 plate appearances with 12 at-bats. She only had 1 hit, scoring 1 RBI, but earning 6 runs for us. Keep up the hard work this offseason, you'll see the results next spring. Number 20, Lindley Wiener. Next up, number 26, Alyssa Cook. Alyssa was another swing player who played first base but also pitched for us. She ended her season with 11 innings facing 52 batters, allowing 8 runs on 12 hits, and striking out 15 batters. She ended the season with a 1.909 ERA. Alyssa also had a stellar season at bat, having 16 plate appearances with 12 at-bats. She had the highest average on the team with a 750. She also had the most hits and RBIs with 9 each. What an amazing season you had. I look forward to seeing you in the offseason. Number 26, Alyssa Cook. Number 30, Aubrey Joggers. Aubrey was another outfielder for us this year. She was a very hard worker on and off the field. Aubrey had 13 plate appearances with 10 at-bats. She averaged 600 with 6 hits, including her best hit of the year against Donovan, which landed her a triple. She batted with 4 runs in and also scoring 4 runs herself. With the hard work and determination off season, I look forward to seeing her growth next season. Number 30, Aubrey Joggers. And last up, she is not able to attend at this time because she went back to her home country, which is number 38, Lava. This year for us. She came to us not really knowing where to play, but she just wanted to be part of the team. Even though she did not play much, she was always very positive in the dugouts and cheering on her teammates. Her best game was the last game we had against West County, where she was able to secure 1 hit. The best memory of that season was that last game with West County, because she taught me that the word "lauf" to run. So, yeah, it's not like loaf, obviously, because I'm not German, so I speak run. I was trying to say lauf, but it's not loaf. But it was a great fun season. If you did not notice already, they're always making fun of me, always doing different things to embarrass me, but it was a very fun season. This is your JV softball team for 2023.
Dr. Nick, Dr. Lloyd, thank you for your support. You guys make our jobs as coaches so much easier. Thanks for answering my 700 emails and texts at the most random times whenever something would pop into my head. If I didn't send it right then, it wasn't going to happen.
if I ever asked for something, I never had to question whether or not it was gonna happen. It always happens, and that's not the case in all schools that you work for. I think Dr. Nix is one of the most hardworking employees in this district, and I don't think he gets nearly enough recognition. Every single thing that he does for the kids. He does to make it so that they can play the game that they love, and he does it so that it makes it easy on us as coaches to do what we love, and that's coach. I encourage all of you guys to thank him one-on-one before you leave tonight. He deserves a huge round of applause. Secondly, to my husband and Cooper, I could not do this without them. You know, I coached for a long time before we had Cooper, and being a mom gives you a unique perspective when you're coaching. You know, once you step out on the field, it isn't just like you're coaching players. You know, you're coaching somebody's baby, you're coaching somebody's kid. You know, when you put a little bit more time and heart into the things that you're doing when you have that perspective. So Cooper doesn't even know that he's given me that perspective, but I'm very, very thankful for it. And then Brian, you know, Coach McDaniel talked about this, but there's a special place in heaven for coaches' spouses. The time away from home, and then when you are home, you just want to sit on the couch and do nothing and not talk, because you talked all day at school, and then you talked all night at practice, and then you're just exhausted by the time you get home. So, you know, he knows how much I love this game, and I can't thank him enough for supporting me and allowing me to do what I love every single day with these girls. So a big thank you to him and Cooper. Next, the parents. When I was offered this job 2 years ago, I was warned a little bit about the parents. But I feel like you guys have seen how much hard work and how much time I put into making this a positive experience for your daughters. And you guys have been so incredibly supportive of every single thing that I've done since I was hired, and I can't thank you enough for that. Your support for your daughters, you know, from our first tournament down in Arkansas to our last game down in Woodland, I don't think that there was a single game where the opposing team had more fans than our team had. And we had a ton of away games this year. You guys are outstanding to me and to these kids, and it's super cool to see that day in and day out, especially with softball and baseball season being such a grind. So thank you for all that you do, and thank you for being all in what we're trying to do here. Couple special shout outs. Carrie and Deidre, thanks for getting this concession stand up and running at the beginning of the season. They scrubbed that thing from floor to ceiling, and the popcorn machine. Nobody's using that popcorn machine anymore, by the way. You don't have to clean it anymore. Carrie, from the sign-up genius to feeding our girls every game, you know, just to being my go-to person in the middle of the school day. I can't thank you enough. Keith Schmelsley, for being, I think there was one game that you missed and didn't take pictures at because Kale had a tournament. But thank you so much. You know, growing up playing, I'm a little bit older than I look, but pictures weren't as readily available as they are now. And I wish I had the pictures that you took of the girls, you know, and I'm thankful that they're going to have those memories for the rest of their life, those pictures. That's really, really cool, so thank you for doing that. And then next, the players. From our very first weight room sessions right after Christmas break, you guys have trusted me every single second. You know, this past weekend I talked to a former coach of mine, and he wanted to know how I felt about my second season. And it was hard to put into words. When you put so much time and effort and energy and love into something, and you pour your heart into it, and the people on the receiving end of it are sponges. You know, they want to learn, they want to be pushed, they want to win, they want to be their best. That's really special, that's really cool, that's really rewarding. This whole season, I really preached on three main things. The first one was conditional motivation, which means, you know, I heard about this in a podcast that I listened to, and it's about playing at your level every single game. It doesn't matter if you're playing at someone that's better than you. It doesn't matter if you're playing somebody that's not as good as you. You play at your level every single game. And they really latched on to that. The second thing is not riding a roller coaster of emotions. You know, we're high school girls, it is what it is. But, you know, staying positive from, you know, play to play and at bat to at bat and pitch to pitch. You know, you may have chased one rise ball, but that doesn't ruin your at bat. You still have two more strikes to work with. If you start throwing your head back and complaining, you're defeated already. So I really talked about staying consistent and not letting your emotions get the best of you. And the third thing that I preached about was about having fun. That's what this is all about, is having fun. If you're not having fun, you're not doing it right. It's a game. It's supposed to be fun. And if the amount of time that we put into it, if it's not fun, then it's not worth it. So I think all of you guys did those things every single day, every practice, every game. And you know, throughout the season you get off track, but you guys were so locked into what I was teaching and what I was coaching that we were able to get right back up on track and right back to what worked for us so well, which was having fun. So thank you guys for doing that. I also talked to my former coach about, you know, family. I hear a lot of teams, or I see a lot of teams, both, you know, where I used to coach at Oakville and at Troy, where they talk about being a family. And then I watch how they interact with one another, and I watch how they treat each other. And most of the time, I really don't feel like they're a family. I think they're kind of empty words. It's not a real thing. But this team was a family. You know, and I'm going to go back to the pictures for a second. Those home runs, there was a couple of home run pictures this year. I think one was against Valley, and I don't remember what the other one was against. But you saw all the girls standing at home plate, cheering for the person, cheering for the other person's accomplishments, and just supporting for their teammates' successes. And that's what being a family is. And I think that this team was the epitome of what a family, a team family looks like, which is reason. You know, I think there's a quote that I feel like really explains my coaching style. And this is, you know, for classroom teachers as well. But it goes like this. It says, "I'm the decisive element on the field. It's my approach that creates the climate. It's my daily mood that makes the weather. As a coach, I possess a tremendous power to make a player's life miserable or joyous. I can humiliate or heal. In all situations, it's my response that decides whether a crisis will be escalated or de-escalated, and a player humanized or dehumanized. You will never hear me yell at my players. If they do something wrong, we have a conversation about it, and it's a teaching moment. But I will never yell at them. I will never belittle them. And I think it's completely unrealistic for us to expect perfection from our players at the high school level. I watched a lot of college softball over the weekend, and players that were hitting in the high 200s, low 300s were first team all-conference, some of the best players in the country. They failed 70% of the time. If they hit 300, they failed 70% of the time, and they're an all-conference player. We're always going to make mistakes. The most important thing we do is grow from them, and I think that we need to teach our players how to learn from what learning from failure looks like. To me, punishing someone by making them run laps for missing a ground ball doesn't translate into never missing a ground ball. I think a more effective practice and reps translates into those things, and that's something that we did this entire season. I think that positivity yields positive results, and I think that this season was a perfect example of that in action. So we came into this season with a pretty good idea of where I thought that we could end up, but never did I imagine that it would be such a record-breaking season. We finished the season 18-7, breaking the school record for wins for the third year in a row. We were the first team in school history to win the NAAA regular season conference title. The first team in 27 years. That is unbelievable. As a team, we hit .341, which improved our last year's batting average by 20 points. We placed second in the NAAA conference tournament, which improved our last year's 5th place finish. And we placed second in the Class 2 District 2. We ended the season ranked 6th on the Missouri Fast Pitch Coaches Association statewide rankings, ranking as high as 4th place at one point during the season. We knew going into the season that West County was going to be our toughest competition. It's unfortunate that we're in the same district as them. It's such a strong district, because I really do believe if you go and look at all of the teams that are playing in the spring, I think we could have won 5 of the 7 districts easily. And I wholeheartedly believe that this team belonged in the state tournament. You could have competed in the state tournament. So this is just a really good record-breaking season. So now I'm going to talk about each one of the players. I'm going to start with the seniors. So the first one, number 22, Ava Meyer. My number one goal for Ava this season was to make sure she ended her senior season having as much fun as possible. After basketball season ended, she didn't miss a beat, which is tough. She's a 3-sport athlete, and that is no joke. It's a grind to play 3 sports. You don't get a break at all, and Ava made it look easy. She started the season in right field, but after she hurt her shoulder and recovered a little bit, she moved into her DP spot. She hit .271 with 13 hits. She doubled her RBIs from last season with 18, and she scored 15 runs. She transformed her mental approach to the place this season, and she worked on staying in control and not letting anything to get into her head. Ava, you've learned a ton of life lessons on the softball field, some of which you may not recognize until later in life. But I hope when you get into your field and start counseling that you put those lessons to work. The ones that you help, guide, and counsel along the way will be so lucky to have you. Number 22, Ava Meyer. Next is number 7, Mia Schweiger. Mia went from starting 9 games at second base last year to starting 24 this season. She's one of the players last year. She didn't get a lot of starts, but she could have easily been a starter in a lot of varsity programs in our area. This year she improved her batting average 98 points and hit .292 on the season with 19 hits, 21 RBIs, and 21 runs scored. She has a great work ethic and gets better every single day. Every team needs a person like Mia on it. She's someone that you just enjoy being around. Her sense of humor and personality are contagious. Mia, you have such a love for life and a unique ability to find humor in the everyday. As you move forward with your new goals and in life, I hope you never lose sight of how important those things are. Mia Schweiger. Number 28, Maddie Terry. Maddie was such an important part of the team this year. The team was always most important to her, which makes her such a great leader. It's not lost on me how much of herself she gave this team over the last 4 years. And the St. John's softball program is better because she was part of it. Maddie suffered an untimely injury the last 3 weeks of the season, and if I could go back and be in her spot and take that ball for her, I would do it in a heartbeat. Maddie played her senior season at third base. She improved her batting average 68 points from her junior year, hitting .268 with a .455 on-base percentage, 11 hits, 8 RBIs, and 14 runs. Maddie, your heart, determination, and drive to be the best at everything that you do is going to take you to some big places. While you're pushing yourself to achieve your goals, always remember you have the strength, patience, and passion to do whatever you put your mind to. Number 28, Maddie Terry. Number 13, Brenna Wiener. Brenna played 24 games for us this season, starting all of them in left field. She hit .311 this season, which improved her batting average 76 points from her junior year. On top of that, she improved her batting average 128 points from her freshman year, or her sophomore year, I'm sorry. So her sophomore year, she hit 107. Her junior year, she hit 235, and this year she hit 311. Brenna has progressively improved her batting average to an impressive 204 points, which is amazing. That's what you ask. That's what you want. You want to keep progressing and keep getting better. She tripled her total number of hits from last season with 23 hits, 8 RBIs, and 21 runs scored. Brenna, last year I told you I couldn't wait to see what you did your senior season, and you didn't disappoint. The determination in your eyes during VP and defensive practice didn't go unnoticed. You were locked in every single day. Every part of your game improved this season, and your contributions didn't go unnoticed by the other coaches in our district. Congratulations on being voted second team all-district. Brenna Weed. Number 21, Mallory Wolk. Mallory started the year at first base for us, and then due to an injury and trying to figure out our lineup and get some more bats in our lineup, I ended up moving her back into right field, and she did a tremendous job in the second half of the season. She stepped up big time for us this year. She hit 264, improving her batting average about 50 points from last season, with 19 hits, 15 RBIs, and 17 run scores. Mallory, whatever direction life takes you at MAC and beyond, your level-headed approach and kind heart will help you accomplish whatever you put your mind to. Number 21, Mallory Wolf. Seniors, I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to recreate the bond and love that you guys brought to the team this year, because it's not something you can teach. You guys have played together for so long. You can't recreate that, but I will forever try. We wish you the very best in everything that you do, but always remember you have a home with your softball family. Come visit us, come watch us, stay connected, and always give back to the game. Here's our seniors. All right, on to our juniors. Number 6, Anna Bennett. Anna was asked to start dressing varsity a little less than halfway through the season. After an injury, I realized I didn't have as much flexibility as I wanted off the bench for runners and pinch hitters, and just to move people around to try to find our best lineup. Anna helped give me that flexibility, and she wholeheartedly embraced her new role. She worked hard to learn everything she could about her new role and scored 6 runs for us this season. I'm excited to see you take on an even greater leadership role next season, Anna. Your positivity is contagious, your heart is so kind, and we are lucky to have you on the team for another year. Number 6, Anna Bennett. Number 18, Hope Schmelzley. You good? For her junior season, Hope made the move over to center field from right field, and she picked up right where Izzy left off. She covers so much ground and comes to practice every single day to learn more and get better. Her work ethic is unmatched. She hit .348 this season and improved her batting average from her sophomore season over 40 points. She had 24 hits, and she more than doubled her RBIs from her sophomore year, from 12 to 26 this year, and scored 18 runs. Hope brought the same amount of positivity, energy, and love to the team this season as she did as her sophomore season. Many times she was the one calling the team meeting in the dugout to help get everyone on the same page and rally them together. Her leadership was so instrumental in our success this season, and her stats spoke for themselves. Congratulations on being voted all-conference team, first team all-district, and second team all-region. Number 18, Hope Schmelzley. Okay, on to our giant sophomore class. Number 26, Alyssa Cook. Alyssa varsity levels this season. She's in a similar situation that our current seniors were in last year. She's a player that would be an everyday starter in most of the teams that are in our conference and in our district and that we play against. At the varsity level this season, she threw a little over 30 innings on the mound and she went 5-0, getting wins against Leopold, Naylor, Steelville, Clearwater, and Iran. She struck out a total of 31 hitters. Alyssa, I'm really looking forward to watching your role in the varsity team grow and evolve next season. I think you're going to be able to step right up and fill some voids that our seniors are leaving. Keep working hard, stay humble, and you're going to do big things for the next 2 years. Number 26, Alyssa Cook. Number 38, Ava Greer. Ava threw a total of 11 innings this season. She struck out 156 hitters, which is almost 1.5 hitters per inning, and she broke the school record for strikeouts. Her ERA was 2.64, and she held opponents to a 237 batting average. She was named Parkland Area Athlete of the Week during the second week of April. Ava is one of the most humble kids you ever meet in your entire life. She's not flashy, she's not theatrical, she just gets out on the mound and goes to work and gives you 100%. No drama, no complaining, just hard work. Ava, you did an absolutely tremendous job on the mound this season. We don't have the success that we had without your grit and hard work. You have earned the distinction of being one of the best pitchers in the state. Congratulations on being voted All-Conference, First Team All-District, First Team All-Region, and being nominated for All-State. Number 38, Ava Greer. Next is number 10, Ava Hoover. Ava played every game for us at shortstop this season. She matured so much over the last year, not just in her performance, but in her confidence in leading her teammates. Ava improved her batting average by 126 points from her freshman season. The amazing part is that her freshman season, she hit .425. She ended this season with a school record-breaking .551 batting average this season. There were only 2 games where she didn't reach base at all. Did you know that? Yeah. She also broke the school record for the number of hits with 43 hits, more than doubled her RBIs from last season with 26 in a leadoff spot, and she broke the school record with 41 runs scored. If they kept track of being hit by pitch, she probably broke that record too. She was hit 13 times. Put that elbow out there. And her defensive skills are just as strong. Ava's a kid that steps out on the field and just looks the part. She loves to compete and knows the game so well. I can't say enough good things about her, but I'm going to tell a quick story. After the all-district meeting, I was sitting there talking with a couple of the coaches. I was talking with CJ from West County. We're good. And he said, you were the most frustrating hitter for his daughter to throw to because they didn't get you out all year. And then we got to the district championship game and they made the decision to intentionally walk you twice in a row. Then they took the lead and him and CJ and Gracie had a conversation and Gracie's like, Dad, I want one more chance to try to get her out. And they still didn't get you out. Anyway, congratulations on being named All-Conference Team, First Team All-District, First Team All-Region, and being nominated for All-State. Number 10, Ava Hoover. Number 4, Jolie Parker. JoJo was a shared player with JV and varsity this season, but she played a total of 19 games in varsity, starting 11 of them at third base. She hit .312 and 32 at-bats. Jolie knew her role and she embraced it. This kid has a smile on her face, all the time. And as a coach, you cannot ask for anything better. That's such a positive spirit on our team. Joey, you've improved so much over the last season, and if you make the same leaps into next season that you did into this season, you're going to be dangerous next year during your junior year. Number 4, Jolie Parker. Number 33, Chloe Staffen. This is another kid that just loves the game. She's made huge strides over the last year, both defensively and offensively. If you asked her, she would probably tell you that she was more successful offensively during her freshman year, but her numbers tell a different story. This season, she raised her batting average over 30 points, and she hit .410 this year with 32 hits and 29 RBIs. And I honestly don't know of anyone that hits the ball harder when she connects. Equally important is Chloe's role behind the plate. She broke the school record for fielding percentage for the 2nd year in a row. I missed that record last year. That's my fault. We didn't catch it until after the banquet. We were just going to recognize her this year for breaking the fielding percentage, but then she re-broke her record. So she had a .985 fielding percentage. Chloe, congratulations on being voted All-Conference Team and First Team All-District. Number 33, Chloe Stackman. Number 2, Autumn Werner. Autumn spent the first part of the season in our DP spot, and then after injuries moved things around and shifted things, Autumn moved into more of a pinch hit and courtesy runner role. But in her 35 at-bats, Autumn had 12 hits for a .343 batting average. Autumn, this team wouldn't be the same without your one-liners and constant heckling of Coach Scoopy. You're going to be a big part of our returning lineup next season. Work hard this off-season so you can pick up right where you left off. Number 2, Autumn Werner. And then on to our 2 freshmen. Number 1, Bree Fobb. Bree split time between JV and varsity this year. We asked her to start dressing at the same time as Anna for the same reasons. I needed more flexibility off of our bench. And she came in and wholeheartedly embraced her role. She didn't see much time on the field, but she was on the fence every single pitch. She didn't miss anything. You have to have those players on your team that understand and know their role. And she was that kid. She has a unique opportunity to be surrounded by players that would help her learn, and it's going to serve her well in the years to come. Bree, we talked about it last week when we talked, but I'm looking forward to you filling some voids that the seniors are leaving next season. Work hard this off season, and you're going to do some big things the next 3 years. Number 1, Bree Fox. And last but not least, number 3, Alyssa Beckerman. Alyssa started the season in our VP spot, but again, after injury, shifted things around. Alyssa ended up finishing the season playing first base, and she knocked it out of the park. She hit .352, going 19 for 66 at the plate with 1 home run and 11 RBIs. She's such a quiet kid, a lot of times you don't even know she's there. But she made herself known this season, her freshman year, and your talent didn't go unnoticed by the other coaches in the conference and the district. Congratulations on being voted to the 2nd team All-District. Number 3, Alyssa Beckerman. Your 2023 varsity softball team. All right, so I have a couple other awards to give away. These next 2 awards, I think, are more important than any of the athletic awards. We had 8 players that will be nominated for Academic All-State, which is a cumulative GPA of 3.7 or higher. Congratulations to Maddie Terry, Brenna Weiner, Hope Schmelsley, Ava Greer, Jolie Parker, Chloe Staffen, Autumn Werner, and Bree Fox. And then secondly, as a team, we made academic all-state as well, which is a cumulative team GPA of 3.3 or higher. As a team, we have a 3.63 GPA. Congratulations. All right, so the next awards, offensive MVP. We had two different players that received votes, but ultimately the winner received 80% of the votes. They hit .551 on the season with 43 hits, a .731 slugging percentage, 26 RBIs, and 41 runs scored. Miss Ava Hoover. Our next one is defensive MVP. 5 different players received votes for this award, and the winner received 38% of the votes. They had a total of 194 chances with 11 assists, 180 putouts, and just 3 errors for a .985 fielding percentage. Chloe Staffen. Our next award is for most improved, and this one was voted on by the team. 8 different players received votes, which is a testament to how hard this team worked. The winner with 32% of the votes goes to Ava Greer. Most improved coach's vote goes to a person who raised her batting average over 200 points over her career. Most improved coach vote goes to Brenna Wiener. The next award is for heart and hustle. This award goes to the player that sets a positive example for their teammates. This person embodies the values, spirit, energy, and traditions of being a Dragon. 5 different players received votes for this award. There was a 3-way tie between 3 of them. Each winner received 4 votes. Congratulations to Hope Schmelsley, Ava Greer, and Mia Schweiger. What do you want? Next one, Rookie of the Year. This person received 87% of the votes. Miss Alyssa Beckerman. The next is the Teammate Voted Leadership Award. Leadership and team building have been a large part of the focus for me for the last 2 years. Without great team leaders and players that believe in the program's vision, it's hard to be successful. 6 different players received votes for the Leadership Award. The person that pulled ahead in the votes, because it was split between 6 different players, for the 2nd year in a row, Miss Maddie Terry. And then the Coach Voted Leadership Award. This was my go-to person. When I needed something from the team, but I wanted it to come from a player's perspective, this is the person that I went to. And no matter what we needed, no matter what I needed, this person was always there. Hope Schmelsley. So I said at the beginning that this was a record-breaking year, so we had quite a few records broken this year, so I talked about them during each player, but I'm gonna recognize them individually too. Ava Greer, career strikeouts, breaking the record with 156 strikeouts this season, doubling her strikeouts from last season. Ava Hoover, breaking the record for single season hits, single season runs scored, and single season batting average. And last but not least, Chloe Staffen, you're going to get two, one for 2022 and one for 2023. Single season fielding percentage with 985. Girls, I hope that I've grown your love for the game and that I've made an impact on you like you've made an impact on me this season. The SGHS softball program is better because every single one of you was or is a part of it. Seniors, we're going to miss you dearly, but come back and see us because the future of Dragon softball is very bright. Thank you so much.
Right. So, just about all of you guys have been in our high school gym at one point or the other, all of you guys, many times. And if you've been in there, you've noticed the conference and district championships and state place finishes of our teams over the course of the almost 100 years that we've had all of our sports. And one sport that has always been missing from up there has been softball. And now, for the first time ever, there's going to be up on that wall, softball 2023 conference champion. So congratulations. You'll be able to come back 20 years from now, whether you live somewhere else or live in St. Genevieve, and point to that to your kids and say, I was on that team right there and I made history. So congratulations. If you were wondering, and Coach McGann mentioned this and I just missed it, and I'm repeating it, I apologize, but all conference and all district for baseball has been voted on, but hasn't been released yet because Potosi and West County are still playing, and they play tomorrow, and if they win, they keep going for another week or so. So we can't release that officially until those two teams lose, but when that happens, we'll release those players at that time. So the last few things we have to do is Mike Boyd from the Herald here. I haven't seen him this evening. Okay, I'll take pictures for him then. If you were an award winner tonight, if you got an award for baseball or softball, or if you were got a postseason award, all conference, all district, and so forth, stick around. I'll take a picture out here in the commons in front of the trophies. But before we do that, we got some banners at 50-50. All right, so 50-50. I had a pretty good 50-50 tonight, guys. Looks like $52, I think. You counted that right? If you're the winner, bring your ticket up when we are done here, and I will check that ticket and give you your $52. That is ticket number 143268. 143268. Pretty sure we have a winner. All right. This other go on up. All right, banners. All right, if I draw your name, grab the banner on the way out. If I do not call your name, do not take the banner on your way out. Softball banner first goes to Hope Schmelsley. And the baseball banner Eli Bennett. All right. Again, if you're an award winner or postseason award, stick around. We'll take group pictures out here. Thank you very much. Have a great night.